Theaters. I'm your host, Monika J, all day. I have my co-host, Village Slum.
With bums.
Queennette.
What's good?
And LMG. So we're in with Hotwordz Theatre here at our new home, KLIQ. And you know what? I just need a little bit of time to interrupt your day. Just like I'm not asking for too much, just 120 minutes, you know, for this amazing show. We have a few amazing guests today. We have Mai, and we have Queen X, and Ross Victory coming to get today. We're going to interview. So, yeah, we're going to take care of that. Are y'all ready for the show?
Yes.
I'm definitely ready.
We're ready like spaghetti. Alright. I'm just letting it be known.
It's going to be amazing.
One more thing.
Yes.
Everybody that's listening to the radio show, thank y'all. Blessings to all y'all. I love and appreciate all y'all. Please, when you eat for you and me, because I did not eat this morning. I'm just letting it be known.
Isn't that the truth?
You know what I'm saying? To thank you all.
And thanks for tuning in. We welcome you like with full arms and blessings. Thank you for constantly just tuning in. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We do need the blessings, and we do need y'all to feed, because, you know, we didn't eat this morning, so we just, you know, running off of energy. I don't know what we running off of today, but it's going to be an amazing show. So we're going to get into this KK love, how many ways, or how many times, I'm sorry, and let's go in and take care of that. I'm just already playing it right.
Let us hope. Peace, love, and light,
Right,
everybody.
because Lord Jesus, and I murdered your name, did I not? I did correct. I'm like,
She got the camera like that.
I'm like,
Like the month of May.
okay, so sorry, love.
It's alright.
Okay.
On the like, man.
I know, I'm thinking. And then I seen it in your face, I was like, ooh, I know, I'm sorry. Okay, so when we get back, we're going to go into some Hotwordz.
Queennette, when you
speak,
speak, make sure that you say who it is, because they don't know who you are.
yeah.
Make sure you announce, this is Queennette, everybody say their name.
And then people, I mean, of course,
They know who you are.
But, so yeah, we have like 2 minutes. So, yeah.
We talk on Tuesdays.
Make sure you guys share this to your friends. It's not too many things. Queennette, you have made it? Or, okay, you made it. Okay.
You know, I have Queennette.
Queennette, teacher, copy. Here. So are you going to introduce yourself, or do you need to say that? Or? How much is that? Got you. Yeah.
Wait, like when?
Okay, but I don't know. You see the board?
Oh, when we have
the
interview?
Okay, yeah. So we'll segue, I guess, out of the song. Let me see. The next song after that is
Hot Mix.
The Hot Mix.
Yeah, with Ovuki from London.
I don't see it on here, though, so I can put it up.
It'll say Hot Mix #1. HLT Hot Mix #1.
What's up? We got one more minute, okay? You hear me? 1 minute.
You're right in front of the camera.
That's a mine though.
I know, no, I'm just saying because I've been looking at a representation as if you're a traditional look.
Oh, we are in church.
Yeah, from realism. Just like a mixture of like graphic,
And then you
cartoony,
know.
yet realistic, because it has proportions and it has shading.
So very technical.
HLT.
Oh, me, see the simplistic most things that look the most simplest have the most technical things and diverse.
I don't see it on here.
So I get why you do need because that kind of represents you because you're diverse and I
Mhm.
feel it.
And I do graphic work, so I use a lot of like
Do you see it?
lines
Just
and a
hit
lot of
number
like
24.
calculated lines.
That
And
part.
Very
Very
42 seconds.
You have any?
What's your last question, or will you tell me?
It's gonna just be who you wanna play.
and how she
I think you have
this is a guy that's going worldwide, London,
Okay, so you have 20
Europe,
seconds.
all over the world. So hey, momager all day.
Oh, she was.
You guys, you ready? Ready? You got 10 seconds. Thank you for joining back. This is Hotwordz Lyrical and we're hearing KK Love with How Many Times, and we're gonna go ahead and segue into interviewing our first guest, Ross Victory. He is an author. He did a book by the name of Views of a Cockpit. So it's kind of sort of touching bases on mental health and gun violence. So what stemmed you to write this book? Was it like a healing?
Absolutely. So pretty much the loss of my dad 2 years ago to cancer kind of put me in this mental space to where I had to address our relationship. I had to figure out what to do next. He was a very present force in my life. And so after his loss, and while I was in therapy, kind of uncovering and unpacking what all of this meant, because actually he was sick and he didn't really tell anyone. So when we found out, it was just kind of, chaos. So during that therapeutic process, I was thinking, how can I was committed to my own healing and I didn't want this situation to break me. And I was thinking, how can I really take a step forward just for myself? And so I came up with this book. Of course, it was entitled Views from the Cockpit. It started off as journal entries, actually. So just journals that I would write to myself about how I was feeling. So for example, my dad, his third wife was from China. And when he was sick, I found him kind of being abused and mistreated in his own house. I mean, food was being withheld from him. He was living, not being taken to the restroom, so he was actually immobile and all of this. And so just coping with all those realities, I had to write it out. And so eventually, 2 years later, it turned into this book. And it's really been a step forward in my healing. I mean, by the day I feel freer. There was a point in my dad's loss where I felt like, it's unrecoverable. Like, how could this happen? Especially he was a man of God, right? So you can't imagine horrible things happening to people who attach themselves to Christ. So, I had to digest all of that. And even, as the days go by, I just feel freer and freer. When I think back on his memory, I feel more joy and thankful for the experiences that we had instead of, that gap. And this is what it is now.
Okay. At the moment you came to terms with the man that your father was, how did that change your life and how did that make you feel?
There's a lot of anger, of course. There's a lot of disappointment because I have brothers and sisters, and so we would all compare notes, of course, like many kids do about their parents, or like, why do they talk like this? What did they do like this? And so I was kind of blind to a lot of his antics, and I'll call it antics, especially with women. So him and my mom were married 31 years, and there was a lot of things that were happening outside of the marriage. So I had him on this pedestal, right? Because like I said, he's in the church. We go to church all the time. I couldn't see the real. I'll call it the real. But yeah, it was really hard. But that is what it is. Truth is what it is. I mean, you have to accept it to move on. I didn't want anything like that to break me. He still gifted me a lot of memories and a lot of experiences. And so I have to take the good and the bad, right? You can't just pick and choose what you want out of someone's personality. You have to take it all and hope and lean into the light, lean into the good parts.
Right. Because I feel like as you come to terms, you're an adult, and you still view your parent as your parent, and you're not able to process a lot of your pain sometimes that you've gone through as a kid. Because I think people don't realize how much you can damage a child. You know what I mean? And everything, no matter what we have or gone through as an adult, it always stems from our childhood. Always. But to be able to then step back and be able to separate your parent from the human that they are. You know what I mean? Like it then helps with the process of healing, because you then look at them as a human being, like a woman or a man, just like anybody else that has flaws and things of that sort. You know what I mean?
They're a full person.
Absolutely. And it's crazy because I feel like previous generations, we've always seen them sweep issues under the rug and, you know, just pray over it and it's going to be okay, you know? And I feel like your Oprahs, your Ibala and Lazant, and your Dr. Phil interrupted that and started a conversation. And then I feel like probably your 30s, 40s, though that generation, then started crying for help. You know what I mean? Like, because it was no longer okay to be able to just sweep it on the rug, because now it's becoming a huge problem.
Yeah.
So where would you like to see us when it comes to mental health?
You know, and kind of to how you open with the gun violence part, I feel like a lot of people in our community, in the world, don't have a way to express themselves, right? So there's a lot of gun violence that actually manifests itself in suicide due to mental health. So I would like people to, you know, look behind the curtain. I call it look behind the curtain of your life. So if we look at life as a production, what's going on behind the curtain? Don't be afraid to look behind the curtain to see what goes on and how, you know, your life is built, and just take ownership. I feel like ownership of experience is the first step to mental wellness, and there's a lot of people who are losing their life, taking their life, damaging relationships that they care about because they don't have an outlet. And so my stance is write it out, sing it out, scream it out, don't hurt yourself, and those things are okay. Specifically for Black men and men in general, you know, I think there's a lot of times where we're expected to, you know, just man up, take it, you know, high five, keep it going. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like we are full people, and I think sometimes in my situation, I was a sensitive child. So, you know, I like to create, I like to write, I like to sing, and I think my parents, just from their upbringing, they didn't know how to, you know, what do you do with somebody who has feelings? Like, what? We out here, we soldiers. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So, you know, I think it's very dynamic, but don't be afraid of whatever it is, you know, and express yourself. And I think Black people, it's okay to express yourself. Expression comes in a lot of different ways. As you see, there's a lot of talented artists here. We all have a channel and a method to do so.
Yes.
Now, before we continue with the question, I just want everybody to give a victory for Ross, brother. Because brother out here is really dropping knowledge on y'all. Gems, please collect them. If you hear them, please grab it. It's knowledge. One thing, brother, I really wanted just to zoom in on the fact of what you're saying about, you know, just being a Black man out here, and just how, you know, your family wouldn't know how to kind of deal with you based off, you know, because they want you to be hard, you know what I'm saying? You know, not really hardcore, but just hard, you know what I'm saying? Be a hard individual, but you grow up with feelings. You feel me? You feel me? Because I was brought up around like all women, but I still have men in my family, but the men in my family, they was all gang related. You feel me? So in their eyes, I was a mark. You feel me? Because I wasn't doing what they was doing, but at the same time, I'm still family, I'm still kin, you feel me? But they don't know how to deal with me because I'm not like everybody. You feel me? I don't do everything everybody do, but you know, it's funny because it's like a lot of stuff you were saying just really like hit me, bro, because it's like my mom passed away 4 years ago, and a lot of stuff she say now reiterates to me now that I'm getting older. Just like deal with the people that do what you do, you feel me? And also, you know what I'm saying, it's like, you know what I'm saying, everything you do will not always be understood. You feel me? And it's like you don't have to break down who you are to make anybody else feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I haven't got to read your book, brother, but I really want to read your book right now just because man, it just I feel it, right? I feel it, just the topic at hand, just because it haven't been talked about before. You feel me? Nobody really talked about their parents in the eyes of normality. You feel me? Usually, because we all see our parents on a pedestal, we all put them on there. You feel me? Because that's who our hero is. That's who our atlas. You feel me? That's who hold the world over their shoulders, but we won't have to bear it. You feel me? So, of course, they gonna always be put on a pedestal. But damn, they normal people. They just like everybody else. They have problems just like everybody. They do things just like everybody else. They're people. You know what I'm saying? And then once you see they people, it's like. Right? It clicked. It clicked on me.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I have a lot of friends who are having kids right now. I'm in that generation where everybody has a newborn or 1 or 2 year old. And a few of my friends were talking about all of a sudden they got it just by giving birth to a child. They're like, oh, so there's not a plan. And so now we have to construct a life for this little person. And so my view from the cockpit, right, which is a metaphor for life perspective, is okay, so this is the life that was constructed. Am I going to choose that, or am I going to build something for myself? And so I have to look at everything in full, and just call it what it is and heal and move forward. And that's my message to everybody.
Yes, and you're listening to Hotwordz Lyrical Theatre, and we are at KLIQ. So I definitely understand that mental health is a huge issue, but I also feel like we always put labels and put each other's in box, and it doesn't help with the pressure and the things that are going on at home. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's a breath of fresh air to be able to have a book, to be able to try to start the conversations in your home. You know what I mean? Because we're all guilty of that, putting them with all kind of labels, like, oh, you're a girl, you're a boy, like, why can't I just be me? You know what I mean? Like, I'm human. Like, why do we need so much labels? And then of course we have social media, and it's I feel like that made everything horrible. It's just everything in the forefront to be able to like taunt people and just kind of mess everything up, because we're not given the tools, right? With your book, we definitely are, but we're not given the tools to be able to handle this. And I think that it's very important for people to know it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to go to therapy. I feel like as our race, it's so not okay and not cool, but it's so cool to go to therapy. It's okay to ask for help. It really is. Like, because when you realize you can't do everything on your own.
Yeah. You can't fake it on your own either.
At all. You are going to melt and break down, and who knows, but you just have to wrap the idea that you're not alone. I'm not here by myself. We have a team. So everybody needs help in all aspects of your life. You know what I mean? And like you said, if it's poetry or singing or dancing or whatever the avenue is that you need to release it. You know what I mean? And start the healing process. Like, let's start it. Let's start the healing process. So if your book was going to be a movie, who were the 2 actors that you would have play yourself and your father?
And my father, wow. So I'll just go. So the first part, a lot of people have said, Queen Sugar, of course, which is on the OWN network. Yeah, which is the show. Right. And I just looked up the guy's name who plays Micah. His name is Nicholas Ashley. Okay. So a lot of people have come up to me like, oh, he looks like a younger version of you. So okay, so let's go with the guy from Queen Sugar, Nicholas Ashley. As far as my dad. So my dad was a very dynamic person, world traveler, missionary, writer, poet, all this stuff, military man. I can't even think, I don't know who you guys would suggest who has just the scope and the range to be able to go there. I mean, my first thought would be someone like a Denzel, but more, I feel like someone more senior than Denzel, you know, even more senior.
I got you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I know you got. I know it is. Village Slum. Just think about it for a second.
Yeah, maybe it's not a name too. We forget, you know, not everybody who's bomb, you know, is famous. So just someone who has scope and range, someone who can embody the characteristics of my dad, which were charisma, heart. He was also a very strategic man. He was funny, and may he rest in peace.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for covering the issues at hand. That is amazing. Thank you for that. We want to just real quick do a event alert. We have Carrie Hilston going to be bringing her Pretty Girl Rock. That's going to be at the Hyundai Soundstage. That's going to be October 19th at 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's going to be on the corner of Crenshaw and MLK. And once again, you are listening to Hotwordz Lyrical Theatre on KLIQ. We're going to go ahead and listen to some music real quick.
Hot mix.
Hot mix. Take care of that. Girl, 5 minutes in this. I'm gonna breathe. I know.
You're doing great.
You really are.
You can drag the words and then get that Z and then go to the next. That way you can breathe.
I'm gonna be trying to like rush
There it
through
goes.
Words.
All together now.
Hotwordz
Lyrical
Hotwordz Theater.
Theater.
If you want me to, you can be like hot words, and I can be like Lyrical Theater.
Teamwork. That's it. When we come back, okay, so when we come back from the hot mix, it's gonna be you.
The caller response.
Make sure you tell them who you are.
Yeah, we have 5. It's on, right? Yeah, it's 5. Why did it stop?
It's playing.
But the timing is not.
It's a big old delay on there, I know
So
that.
how am I supposed to know when it's gonna be over?
I don't know, just cut it off.
Okay, so hot mix. I think I want to.
Social media stuff.
This is not on our track. I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
It's not really a break.
I'm shy. I
Not
know.
us?
I know you did not say I'm shy.
She over here like,
I'm
sorry.
Oh, thank you.
For sure. I already signed it.
Sure, brother.
Hey, that's not
She
us
wants to
right
know when to
here.
go back in.
That's not us?
Who did your cover art?
That's
A
not
guy
our
in
music, that's
Philadelphia, his
selfish.
name is
So.
Where'd it come
What
from?
is
Where's our
saying?
music?
It's saying this right here.
On my Instagram.
Definitely.
It's saying that it was. You told me to push this one, right?
Facebook Live.
Should I put something else real quick in there? Are you sure?
What's up, people?
See, you're not that shy.
Come on, gente.
Yeah, right. Which one is this one?
I have no idea.
Oh,
Okay.
That's KayBee, right?
no.
I'm kind of on the upset that I can't.
Wait a second.
So when we come back,
I think once you,
I guess
once
I'll
you
put.
hear those
What should be
two.
like the original?
Oh, just with the
same
H.
program that I
First
with
connection.
HLT is ours.
So this is Lisa Michelle.
Oh, you're so sweet, thank you.
And then still with the hot mix, and then can I do announcement and then go to her? Okay, so we're gonna. I'm going to come
Turn it
back.
off.
I'm going to do the announcement, and then I'm going to cue you. Okay.
Uh-oh, baby. Let's see.
And get into the line.
And remember, everybody can hear you. And we're viewing. We're live. We're live, so they can see all the background hoopity doo. Okay.
I know I'm just saying peace. Peace. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
We're doing. Oh, it's not Tyra?
It's playing now. It's good.
No, but look. This is.
As if I somehow
Is it
kidnapped me
timer
from
or is it
myself
timer?
and waited to
This is what's playing right now.
No, I know, but I'm trying to do the next one, and this one the name is Tyra, right?
Tyra and Levi.
Okay.
practice smiling on pieces of
This is
No,
what
Dani
this
J lives in Las Vegas.
Okay,
She is still a host, but she's not here.
Oh, okay.
But we have to send her to Las Vegas, I guess. And KayBee had an accident family, so she's the actual host. That's why it's Monica's first time host. Monica usually sits with these down, and they sit up here and
Behind the scenes, we do my part.
we'll find out.
My body was an office building.
This is what's playing now on the broadcast.
I often wished there was a fire alarm inside me that I could pull. I could send all of them rushing outside to rest in the glowing reprieve of an inferno.
And you did hit that record button, right?
This is how I learned to smile. By refusing the seduction, the easiness, by sitting at their deathbeds pitching glasses of water to loosen the reasons from their dry throats. I learned to smile at the funeral of each individual fury. It is not enough to bury what hurts us, we must eulogize it.
It's a poet in Norway.
We once quested to understand it.
Norway.
We smile.
Norway.
We satisfy ourselves with knowing why, or haunt ourselves with never knowing.
That's Jonathan Smart. He'll be on later.
He's coming before.
320.
Hotwordz Lyrical Theatre.
Yes, that's it.
He got to sit in my body and do it for me.
I already know.
It's your first time you do it good.
You're doing real good.
Monika J got thrown in the hot seat.
Man, but nobody can do it.
Yeah.
Just pretend that you're on your blog and
Jesus.
stuff.
Different because I'm not going to see people in front of me.
We don't count.
Yes, y'all do.
No, we don't.
You're an actress. Go into your mode, girl.
Okay, so 20 seconds in.
Yeah.
Don't rush it. Take your time. You got time.
15 seconds.
That was Jonathan Smart, poet of the future.
We're staying on it.
That's him, yeah. Aspirations. He's a young man from Ohio. He'll be calling in a little later on.
What is that?
Okay.
That's it, right? Welcome back. This is Hotwordz Lyrical Theatre. With the hot mix, we're gonna do a little product announcement. We have, if you guys are interested in body oils, burning oil fragrances, air fresheners, and freshly handmade incense, you can go ahead and contact Jay. His number is 818-306-0304. And if you're in the LA area, he's located at 6303 South Figueroa, Los Angeles, California, 90044. Again, body oils. And you can call Jay at 818-306-0304. 306-0304. And I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic to Queennette.
What's good?
Hey,
How
Ma.
are you guys? This is Queennette live from Hotwordz Lyrical Theatre on KLIQ radio. And I'm here talking with Queennette today. How are you?
I'm good. I'm enjoying myself.
Are you
enjoying yourself?
Yeah. So today my first question that I have for you is most important. And what made you start? What was your reason for writing? To start writing poetry, everything.
Wow. So my first poem I wrote at 12.
Mhm.
And I would say music inspired me.
Yeah.
I was the only child for a long time. And I remember being in Maryland on my bedroom floor, and I would just listen to radio. Like, I was the kid that would just lay on the floor. I didn't have records. I just had radio. So, I would, like, find myself studying the music. Like, I would try to hum. Like, what I would say, like, the different instruments were. And,
Yeah.
you know, and I love, like, hip-hop and stuff. And so I just decided one day to figure out if I could write. And then my first poem was called Poetry. And then from there was essays. And then it was fiction. And that's how I came to my book, Hidden Moments.
Because it's just, I can't even say anything because, like, I relate so humbly to that. Because I'm a writer, a poet, everything, and I relate so humbly to that. And I respect you for even just being able to put your heart on paper and then being able to put it in a book, like, straightforward. My next question is, I was reading that you went into a communication career.
Yes.
What made you want to do that, like, to be able to, is it like with kids or, you know, with other adults or just, you know, being able to talk to them across the board?
You know, like, I'm wearing my Full Sail University jacket, you know.
Whoop, whoop.
2016. Communications was my major.
Yeah.
I just realized at a very early age how relationships were very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't have a solid relationship without communication.
Definitely.
And I became an expert at figuring out how I communicated within myself, being very interpersonal.
Yeah.
I know how to relate to people. I'm a Leo, so sometimes I do like to, like, oh, let's talk and blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
But for the most part, I was very to myself. You know, I was the kid that would sit in the room and watch people first and then talk to people. And so I was very cognizant at an early age of how I would interact with other people, and I valued that. And I would take my time trying to figure out how I could explain to you as best as possible who I am, what I'm about, what I think. And I was like, well, how do I use that? You know, and it just became a thing for me. I feel like I was blessed with the art of writing.
Yeah.
Like, words are my thing.
That makes sense because when I write, it's like a tag team type thing. Like, okay, like if I write about a situation, let me like reciprocate it and just like lay it out all on paper. And I was just like, yeah.
So who would you say you would be like tag teaming with?
Myself. Like, I feel like, you know, it's the double personalities, like, in each situation. Like, I'm battling, you can battle it with yourself, or you're battling with the hidden part of yourself that just doesn't want to come out.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's why, like, the communication really helps in writing. And that's why I understand, like, it's like, your flow from writing to communication hits, like, so well.